Hi, welcome to the Bolshevik News and the Mavstar Observatory. Guys, I want to give you something in this video. Hopefully you will take it away and it might even improve your lives, just a slight amount. It's a little bit about motivation today. We have got some good news. We've got some data from Southern California. Later on we're going to have a look at that. But you know what, guys? It's easy to get bogged down with all the negativity, and I've got to say, sometimes, like even on this channel, you know, we're talking about the pole shift, the weather being miserable, the crop failures, the food shortages, you know, the global economic system falling right in front of our eyes. And you know what, this can all have an effect on our self-esteem. You know, for me, I try and make just that little bit of difference in my life to make it a little bit better. And you know, easily I find a lot of people make the mistake by not even doing a little bit to improve their lives each day, and as a result of that, they don't seem to be going anywhere. It's like having a beautiful sailing boat on the ocean. The sails are up and there's no wind. So just to give you a little, for instance, how I motivate myself in the morning. So I get up, I do 15 minutes workout, a bit of dumbbells, bench pressing, 50 sit-ups, and I'll do that on the evening as well. That makes me feel like I've actually contributed to, you know, a bit of a healthier lifestyle and living. I might have, you know, a protein shake in the morning as well, and if my partner's around, she'll make sure I get a green juice or something like that. You know what, guys, it doesn't matter whether you go to the gym for 2 hours or 10 minutes or do a little workout in your house like I do. You're going to get something out of it. A little is better, what you've got to remember, than nothing at all. And you know, if we always strive to improve something, it's going to get better for us all. So, you know, just a little bit of motivation there for you guys. You know, what the point is here is, if you just do a little, it is better than doing nothing at all. So you don't have to go to the gym for 2 hours. You don't have to eat all day long healthy food. All you need to do is just make a little change in your life and things will get better. Trust me. You don't realise, and a lot of us don't realise, how capable we are. If you compare what I've done over the last 5-6 years with regards to this channel, the website, the observatory, you know, one person has managed to build an observatory and get magnetometers all around this world now and collect data on a specific anomaly that's taking place, one of probably the most important anomalies that is taking place in our life. You compare that to what NASA's done on a whole, and this individual has done this, you know, on his own. You know, there isn't a single person, I know this, there isn't a single person in NASA that can say they have contributed everything to one mission in NASA. It is required over 1,000 people to do so. But here, guys, one person has sent out magnetometers worldwide. He's programmed them, designed them, built them, and got them out there. You know, we can achieve a lot, guys, individually, on our own, more than what we are thinking we're capable of. So, you know, just bear that in mind. You know, you can achieve a lot. You know, these people, it's always the same. You know, these people that think they can't, they won't, because they've already writ themselves off from the first moment, because they're thinking that they can't. What you've got to have is that you know, that ambition and that drive, and you've got to have a little bit of confidence as well that says, you know what, I can do it. And you can. There's no difference between what I've done here on this website and this observatory to, you know, all you guys out there that are living, you know, at the same time as me. You know, you can achieve a lot more than what you want. You've just got to be motivated to do it. And if you set yourself the task to do just a little bit, you'll find that you'll achieve a lot more. You know, what one point is that you'll move in the direction that you want to go. So just a little bit of motivation out there for you guys. Let's have a look at some of the data that come in from California then over the last 48 hours. So here we are looking at some data from Southern California. Big thank you to JD out there for getting the data. It's been a bit difficult for him, you know, he's had to go and purchase another computer so that the SD card can fit in it and he can deliver the data to us. And here we are looking at the data, and what I've done is I've refined it and filtered it a little bit to bring out the trend. And this is what I was talking about. On the left hand column, I was going to reduce the scale so that we can see, instead of just that line that goes across where we don't really get any information from it, you know, I've zoomed in, and what we're looking at is an increase by about 3 microteslas over, you know, 22 days. You know, so long as the magnetometers aren't keep being moved, right, as we add data from Southern California, Kentucky, Perth, the Gold Coast, Hong Kong and India, what we're going to see is the range not change on the left hand column in this chart, and that will give us an indication then from point A to point B. When we get more data in, it will match up from where it left off. Otherwise, we're just going to have to focus on the fact that, you know, there has been an increase, you know, if the magnetometer is changed, because all these magnetometers are doing is taking a background reading of the intensity. Like I said before, you know, these magnetometers can work in 2 different ways. You can have them direct the magnetic north pole, or you can have them as a component of XYZ work out the intensity of the region with regards to that background magnetic intensity, and just give us an idea of what the field strength is in that region. That's what we're concentrating on with these charts, and these magnetometers that have gone round the world is just that, the intensity of the magnetic field. Because it wasn't by no coincidence that we put them in the locations where we did. What we've done is we've put them on the epicenters of where either in the Canada pole is concerned, where that's concerned. We're looking at how it reduces. Now, the 2 magnetometers that are in the United States right now are focusing on the Canadian pole. That might be strange because we're nowhere near Canada, but what we are near is the high intensity region. Let's pull up the map so it's a little bit more visualizing for you guys. Let's pull up that map so we can see what we're talking about. So here we are, guys. You can see where our magnetometers are, and you can also note that they're not in the deepest part of the highest intensities of where the magnetic poles are. They're just on the fringes. And the reason why that is because if we'd have stuck them in the deepest part of the intensity, it would have been a long time before we noticed any difference or changes in the data that we was getting. So what we did is we put them on just the cusp of where the highest and lowest intensity is, and in that mid-range, so that we get an idea. If the, like in the Canadian pole is concerned, we get the shrinkage that we've been noticing over the last 7 years. We're going to pick it up a lot more clearly as the intensity in those regions of M1 and M2 pick up the data, and we notice that that field is reducing. We know it's going to go that way, even though, well, when we compare what we've just looked at, we can see a slight increase by 3 microteslas. It doesn't make any difference because it's over a short period of time. Over a long period of time, when we've been looking at the data, we're going to see a reduction for sure over those M1 and M2 regions, and in relation to the Canadian pole. Now, Siberia over there, where we've got M3 and M4 in Hong Kong and India, we're going to see something different. We're going to see the scale increasing over a long range of period of time. And M5 and M6, again, we're going to see the scale increasing because that magnetic intensity is getting closer to the magnetometers in both those regions. So we're looking for an increase over the right hand side of this chart where M3 and M4 and M5 and M6 is, and we're looking for a decrease where M1 and M2 is. And that's what we're going to see, guys, over a period of time. And we're going to get an idea perhaps in the next 4 months when we're getting regular data come in. We're going to see how fast it's reducing, or, you know, in the circumstances where M3 and M4 is and M5 and M6, how fast it's increasing. So, you know, this is what we're doing right now, guys. We're collecting the data globally. We've got the TriMag, which is tracking the magnetic pole and its position and its movement over a 3-second individual time period, which is a high resolution. I don't even think that Swarm's mission over in the European Space Agency even transmits data back to its ground station at 3-second intervals. So what we've got is a remarkable and unique observatory that is concentrating right now on this rare anomaly. And we're going to get the data coming in over the next 6 months, which is going to give us the ability to forecast what's going on, and that gives us a heads up as to how things are progressing and how fast they're progressing over that period of time. So just before we end the video, guys, we're going to have a look at the jet streams over the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, and as you can see, it's again undistinguishable from the polar and subtropical jet streams over the northern hemisphere. A lot of intermixing there, so you're going to get a lot of that cooler air coming down into the subtropical region where it's warm, and of course that's going to cause rainfall where these jet streams are lying. Again, on the opposite scale of that, you're going to get this warmer air going up to the northern hemisphere, mixing with the cold, and it will precipitate most likely as snow over that region. But scattered jet streams over the northern hemisphere. Quick look at the southern hemisphere, a little bit more aggressive down here, a lot wider jet streams, well over 1,000 miles wide, and as you can see, same story but only on an amplified scale as what we've got over the northern hemisphere. Subtropical and polar jet streams mixing. Unusual that it's on an amplified version compared to the northern hemisphere, because right now we're at the summer solstice, and things are at equilibrium with regards to the tilt or position of the Earth at this time of year with relationship to its orbit around the Sun. We should be at more of an equilibrium, so things should look equal, and yet they don't. And just another indication of how messed up our weather system is on this planet right now. So guys, I'm going to leave it here. I just want to quickly mention the links down there to support the observatory, and more than ever it needs supporting now, because we're at a period of time where we've lost over the last month $200 of support from the patron, and the PayPal support has been quite low and relatively quiet as well. So not really looking too good at the moment, because all as it does is slow us down here on the observatory and what we're able to do and invest in. Over the next few days, or in the middle of next week, we're going to be doing a video on the cloud chamber, and that the reason why we're doing that is so that we can get a visual of the ever increasing cosmic radiations. If you take into consideration right now, we've got a grand solar minimum going on, where sunspots over the last 3 solar cycles have been diminishing. As a result of that, our heliosphere shrinks, more cosmic radiation comes through there, our solar system, and on top of that we've got a weakened magnetosphere, so it gets into our atmosphere, and that can cause all sorts of problems, and as has now been found, it can cause even arrhythmic problems with people's hearts on this planet, as well as cancers. And it doesn't just affect human beings, it affects the whole diversity of species across all the ranges. So it gives you an idea of how important it is to understand what's going on with our world, our sun and our solar system. So guys, the link's down there if you want to help. If Patreon's not for you, there's a PayPal link, you can do it quickly there. And I'll say what I usually do, guys, take it easy, avoid these negative toxic people in your life, because all they're going to do is bring you down. And I'll say what I usually do. Have a great weekend. I'll see you in the week. As always, bye for now.